Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. Today with another installment of my MSO series. After 7 rounds, I qualified third place. And so my opponent is the one in 6th place, nazario77, a borderline master from Ukraine. Borderline because he had just reached the master rank, I think once, and arguably isn't really a master, but just a very strong expert. So more or less the same as I am. Let's check his games are. So after an easy game to stretch, the going got way tougher for Nazario. Pakshi is definitely no slouch. Then 2-time world champion and 5-time finalist. Alec is also quite a good player. Then Strong Master from Poland, MTU, and Tito Arce from Chile, also quite a good player. And then another world champion in Mars 15, which is Marian Kokan from Romania. And this game was quite close. I've dedicated a separate video to the end game because actually Mars blundered. He had time trouble and couldn't find a winning move, although there were at least 2. So let's hop in the game. Yeah, 2 forced moves to start. We both meeple these features, of course. And then Nazario just dumps the curve over here. I don't see the reason for this. Go here, yeah, you restrict your city a bit, but in the case you get a road Dorito, for example, you could just take the 3-point road. So if he doesn't, I'll take a road, of course. He creates little problems over here, but the upside would be that I have a nice monastery spot. I need to dump the sender somewhere, and considering putting it over here would endanger my road, because one dagger is already gone. I opt to place it on the left, because there are still 3 right-handed daggers available, so if Nazario were to block from the top, I'd still have an 87.5 chance to complete this, neglecting any further obstructions, of course. So here we go. He obstructs from the top, takes another city cap, but as consolation I get road monastery, rebuilding a 4-point road. And now he attacks my road because there aren't really other great options. Going over here might be one, but then he'd risk killing or obstructing his own city like this. So he plays it safe. I don't care about this attack and I can't do anything either. So I just continue with the road, trying to complete my monasteries as fast as possible while also creating an attacking option on blue city on the right. So he closes his city on the left, leaving me with curves or crossroads to protect my vulnerable square next to the monastery. And I'm lucky enough to get one curve immediately. I would have rather taken this 4-point road, but if you can save a monastery and maybe create a nice city in the end, that's the move you should take. He has another straight, opts to dump it because he doesn't want to continue his road over here, as that could lead to more problems on the right side. Maybe 2 blocked meeples later on, because the one dagger is already gone. So now, do we go over here and take the 3 points for the road and add a city cap here to take later when we continue our road? Or do we pre-close this city, snatch it once we get the dagger, while also killing this attacking option by blue? Right now I would pick this spot here. Oh, this is also nice. This way we have quite a good use for Doritos, and our road is closed at one end at least. He extends his city, making his road vulnerable though, and I get a nice crossroad just to score 3 points for road plus 2 for my monasteries, while also pre-closing my longer 7-point road. So I can't really complain about the tiles. This looks like a pretty nice setup for yellow. He continues his road. He could have gone also over here, ensuring against the dagger draw, while also protecting his city up top. There are still 2 starting tiles left. Block over here wouldn't be definitive, but still I think a slight protection might be quite useful, considering once I close my road, I'll definitely have then 2 attacking or blocking options on his city, and considering I have more or less 18 points in monasteries on the board, he should try to build up some features. So my splitter wasn't really the easiest tile to place. At the bottom I could have complicated blue's road building, but this also gives a chance for him to snap 4 points with a city cap, maybe a starting tile. So no, that's not an option I choose. The only real option was putting it on the left, but this would leave an empty city cap at the top, of course, because you'd rather take the one at the bottom, considering the one at the top could be easily blocked. And I really don't like to leave empty city caps, so I'd rather add 1 point to them directly, but also creating blocking options galore. He gets a dagger though and will no, he won't. Okay, I would have expected this move over here, just to threaten the completion here. Instead, he opts to close this city when there's actually no need to do so with 4 meeples in hand. So now it's time to go here or there to further restrict his juicy city. Yeah, one could argue it would be better to meeple this Dorito just to prevent any shenanigans over here. But he can't really take it, because then he'd have to wait for this square before going on the right side of his new city. Guess that's why I opted to leave the Dorito empty. But I'd expect him to go at the top and putting the field side to the left. So definitely an oversight by me not to meeple the Dorito. But with only 2 meeples in hand, this would have been rather an iffy move. So more or less a situation between rock and a hard place. And I'd like to keep at least 2 meeples in hand with 50 tiles to go. I'm very likely to continue my city up top, hoping to close it before blue can try to connect or restrict my city. See, he chooses the restriction. And now I finally get to complete my road and monastery. And things are looking good again. 4 meeples in hand, some points in the bank. A total blocking option available. Nice prospects for yellow. Blue likely is going to indirectly defend the right. No, he doesn't. He opts to try and kill my city. Even though there are still 2 starting tiles and also 2 horses available. So the chances for a kill aren't there, and the obstruction also not that severe. So I think he has already given up on his city in the middle. So now I think we can go over here and attack blue city just to prevent him from closing this up, while also blocking blue's city in the middle for good. No, instead I opted close city at the bottom. Also meepling this one here just to prevent blue from taking the 6-point city with a dagger. This is rather risky considering 1 dagger is already gone. So it's a 75% chance to get one of the last 2 here. And considering this is only worth 2 points, yeah, it's more or less iffy, but with 5 tiles in hand and already a scoreboard lead, exerting some more pressure isn't really bad. So Nazario now should continue with his blocking up top. I get another monastery. Could have also taken this spot, but this way I could profit from further road building by blue or obstruct their road building and maybe kill blue's meeple together with mine for a mini battle win. But he gets a straight immediately, so there won't be any shenanigans for his road. A road Dorito in this situation is most likely to be placed on the right side. Going over here would give blue the option of getting a field Dorito or cow and then killing my city immediately, at least more or less, because there's still 1 splitter available. And on the right side this would rather be quite safe. Depending on orientation this way, he'd have to continue my monastery building to attack it. So this could be the choice. Yeah, I opted to prevent the loop road, but considering he already has a road in play, I don't think that's really necessary. But this placement has another upside, which is you don't risk losing 2 meeples because you separated them by a road. So there's a nice, actually there are 2 nice monastery spots over here for stacking. He gets a Dorito, likely continuing with his city on the right side, trying to close this one here, which would be a huge problem for me. So finally the total kill of his city in the middle, even though he didn't show any inclination to resume building there. Now he opts to attack my city and I get to easily protect it. Creates slight problems for his cap up top, but there are still enough caps to liberate this, so only slight problems. Now he gets to close his huge city on the right side from the top. Instead, he goes for the inferior approach. I would have gone here. Just because there be more or less no way to attack this. Yeah, sure, you could go here and then hope to get a Dorito and big tile to complete this attack. But it's rather unlikely, and with only 2 big tiles here and there, the city would be closed. This way though, there's the option of going over here with a road Dorito or one of the horses to obstruct this square and then maybe later on attack here. Also, there's the option of going here and then attacking from the right side. So I would have picked the top right corner to place this Dorito. Now this begs the question, do we go over here at the top and try to attack this city just to be on the safe side, or do we continue our future diamond-shaped city, in the best case that is? So do you play it safe, or do you try to outrun your opponent by scoring? Tricky decision, considering you already have a few monasteries in play, you have a 11-point scoreboard lead. I'd choose the safe one, even though that could lead to more problems if blue were to get a tile to defend immediately. Yeah, that's more or less exactly why I added the Dorito to my city. We could now opt to close it from further attack or further connection by yellow, but this would limit where the 2 remaining daggers, and an attack to kill it would be very likely. Else he could just take a few points on the left side, but leaving this open to extend it maybe with a horse and then taking these 2 points would be the better move. And there's the road at the bottom. Meepling a city cap would also be quite sensible move. Waiting over here for a better tile or a better city cap with a field side might arguably the more reasonable choice. Let's see which move he picked. Yeah, he went the safe route. So now we are going over here, drastically reducing blue's chances. Close this soonish, adding at least 1 attacking option, maybe a second one from the bottom right side, but at least preventing any closure of this city within 2 moves. Therefore he doesn't even defend on the top left, just closes the city, and now we attack for sure. A curve to take over a loop road or get an insurance road on the left side. Would also opt to restrict at least one of my monastery squares and create an attacking platform on my right city. Instead, he opts to create this here, which he could use, add another meeple to the city. With 4-1 meeples in hand, this is quite a sensible choice and creates the problem for me. Do I continue over here? Try to liberate this city meeple as fast as I can. Or do I connect here, but then also opening up another attacking option for blue, which, if completed, were to create a blocking option for me. So it's not the worst move, but I still go for the city on the right side and hope to get better options for the top. Because I'd rather get a big tile over here, not leaving easy attacking options. Yeah, he goes. No, he doesn't go for it. Interesting. He rather takes the indirect attack, but completes this city piece here. And then, of course, I obstruct him, even though I could score 2 points with this piece somewhere else. And then hoping maybe to get a Dorito to block this square. But he immediately gets a horse. We'll put it here, of course. Taking 2 points. Equalizing the scoreboard in the process. Do we really need to go over here? There are still 3 big city tiles left. But we need to get one, and if we were to get one, this would create another attacking option for blue, in addition to the one already present. So we could also opt to take the city cap to the right side. Wouldn't have to meeple it, but we could. Because if blue were to take the city cap, we could kill the city once and for all. But even if it were to become a ruin, it's already at more or less 15 points. So else there is always adding something to your monastery, leaving a city cap empty just to efficiently build there. I'm undecided. Just see how this turns out. Yeah, I think this is okay. This won't get closed with 2 moves, so you should still have a chance no matter what blue gets and does. So a left-handed dagger for him. He could just complete his city, but there are still enough city caps out there to do so later on. He could take this for -1 point, while also creating a very juicy monastery spot, especially for me, considering I could liberate 1 monastery meeple. Else there is to block this option for me, or going on the right side, trying to force the issue, preventing this attack, and then hoping to get 2 Doritos, close the city, or a splitter would work as well. But the splitter also adds quite a bit of risk to this square, because I could separate his huge city from the smaller one and then maybe even take over the huge city. So arguably he could just stall and take this 4 points. I close my city just to get a second meeple back and further points on the scoreboard. Straight isn't that useful for him. Could now opt to block my attack on his city, but at the same time this would reduce his chances to complete the city by quite a lot, considering this removes the splitter Dorito and the 2 remaining cows. Else there's still this insurance road on the left side, with 3 meeples in hand, you could go for it. And then there's this 6-point field right here. But he opts to obstruct my attack. And I just take 2 points or defend my monastery square. Instead, I go over here, hoping to get the dagger and then 5 points, because he's quite unlikely to use this space, as it would liberate 2 of my meeples and leave a 6-point field as well. He could limit my monastery square to a 50-50. Else there would be this move to pre-complete the insurance road. But considering he didn't care for it earlier, I don't see him going there now. So best guess is the monastery limitation. He even opts to meeple the field. Is rather cautious. I'd say with still 20 tiles to go when he plays this. I think this is a bit early. But considering he could get the road monastery as well and would use this square, I think this is still okay. So just to prevent any worst cases, I attack the city again. This gives me the option to use the road Dorito over here. Now he closes his city at the bottom, getting one of the 2 daggers I need on the left to liberate city and monastery. And I complete my city, at least one of them. So instead of taking points and reclosing this field over here or trying to connect, he goes for a block, which is a bit risky considering there's still a road Dorito out there, which I could use to attack in 2 places even. But that's more or less my only chance to attack this. So the risk is rather small. Now I get to liberate my city at last, and with still 3 road ends out there and also an option to just connect to this crossroad on the left, I guess I'll even take this road. Oh, I don't. Well, letting a 4-point road in the open, I can't support that move. So with a field Dorito, he could go over here and try to prevent a splitter attack. But this would create an indirect defense option against the blocking square against this attack. Else there's killing a monastery square at the bottom, but considering he has 3 meeples in hand and I only have 2, that's more or less to his detriment. He could take this field here, but it's not really worth it right now. He'd be better served to wait for my completion and then snatch the 6-point field. So taking this 6-point field here or there might be a better move. Instead, he opts to connect. Actually, that works out quite fine, because I can only protect this attack with the dagger I need at my monastery already and with the last crossroad. but he could use the road monastery to block my attack completely. Or the dagger to attack again and then hope to get another cap to close the city even. So that's really a problematic threat for me, considering there aren't that many curves to block this square here once he would attack. So the safe option would be to now put the splitter over here, trying to exert some pressure on the city from the right side. Maybe trying for the last cow to connect again, but at least preventing the closure there. That I just take a city, and he could now score points in a simple way, or go all in by closing his city and hoping get dagger and horse over here without me getting anything to interfere. Considering there are 4 straightish tiles out there, that's not the unlikeliest outcome. But keeping in mind his play so far, I guess taking the 4 points on my field might be just the move. That's a bit timid considering I have 16 points in monasteries and a scoreboard lead versus his ruin. And in addition, a 9-point field. He has to successfully defend or attack over there and get the road monastery to eke out a win here. There is also this monastery square, which I could kill now, else there is still the road on the left side, which could be pre-completed, but then you'd be liable to lose here because there's only one crossroad remaining and only one road Dorito. So that's very, very risky. Just meepling the road straight up would also be possible. There are still 3 road ends available. Else there would be this option and trying to block this square here. Prevent blue from extending their field. But I think I like this one here the most. Yeah, my former self concurs. So, a nice useless tile for blue. Not many options. Let's just see what he did. He dumps it on the left side while restricting the quick point options. And I have to dump a monastery because I still need my last meeple to get quick points. He takes the 5-point road. And I get a juicy city cap on my field for 7 points. But now that the dagger option to attack the city for 50-50 is gone, blue needs other avenues to score because he's behind quite significantly. So let's take stock. Yellow has a scoreboard lead of 7 points, 1 point for the city cap up top. Monasteries for 16 points, a 12-point field, and a 2-point city on the left. Whereas blue has the ruin for 16 points and another one worth 4 points, plus their field on the right worth 3 points. At 15 points behind, blue really has to score big, and the biggest feature they could snatch is this 12-point field. So an attack over here or there, and unification with his field on the right side is the way to go. The prime suspect would be the road monastery. So meepling the field here, then getting the road monastery for 8 points plus the field invasion would win blue the game, at least would very likely win blue the game. But as you already can see, I've got the road monastery in hand. So now his best shot, of course, is just to score 6 points for the monastery. And then maybe there's still a chance to unite this way while also attacking over here. So let's just add his move. 6 points for the monastery. So 9 points total for me. And now this begs the question, should we go over here, meeple the field just to play it safe? Else there's this option, but that would create another attacking spot. And that's why I didn't choose that one. Instead, I guess I just took 3 points up top, neglecting this attacking option because it's highly unlikely to be successful, maybe even impossible for blue to get both farmers to the left field and take this over. Let's just check. So blue needs one piece to attack and a piece to connect, and then another one on the right side to unite the fields. So he could use everything but the diagonal splitter. So let's try to iterate through these permutations. There is the crossroad. If blue were to get it, I could use the road Dorito over here to kill, or the splitter on the right side, and the straight on the left side as well, and the dagger to kill on the left or right side. But what about the other orientation? The same options on the left side, kill with straight, road Dorito, and the dagger, but no kill with divider. So one option is this one here, and then divider for me. But no matter which tile he then gets, I would kill either the right or the left connection square. So the crossroad doesn't help him. And I'm pretty sure the same goes for the dagger. So if he plays the dagger here and would attack, then it's either a kill on the right or on the left side, no matter which tile I get. Road Dorito goes over here and kills this square. Straight goes over here and limits this square to straight, which is gone. The splitter goes on the right side, limits this connection square to a starting tile. And the crossroad would go over here to kill this square because the last of its kind. So dagger and crossroad are no good. Straight, of course, doesn't work, which leaves us the road Dorito. In this case, I could kill on the right side diagonal splitter and on the left side with the road tiles. So that's also no good. So considering all these options, I can safely just take 3 points Let's just add them somewhere. So now I'm 12 points ahead and he gets the Rotorito. He might still opt to attack, just hoping for me to not picking up on his options and maybe underestimating his chances. At the moment, this just adds 3 points. And now I get the dagger and can't block actually. So that's one permutation I did wrong. Because if I go over here on the right side of the Rotorito, he could get the straight and then on his last turn the crossroad to connect. And if I were to place the dagger on the left side, either this way, he could use the crossroad on the right side and on his last turn the straight, even snatching a 5-point road. And if I were to obstruct this way, it's vice versa. Getting straight at first, then the crossroad later on. In both cases, he would take away 12 points from me and gain 9 points for 3 extra cities. So it's a swing of 21 points plus anything he would gain for the road at the bottom. So 4 or 5 points extra. This would be a swing of at least 25 points. So I had to score 16 points with my last 2 moves. Better would be 17 points. So this leaves me with only one valid option, which is just closing my city for 4 points, plus 5 for the road, plus 1 for this meeple. But actually just meepling the field would net 1 point more than going for the road. So let's tabulate this. Got 5 points extra for city and monastery, plus 6 points for the field. So that's 11. Let's add them over here. So now he goes for the road and safely meeple it, because it doesn't really matter if he does this now or on his last turn. This adds 3 points to his side of the equation. And then I get the crossroad to prevent the worst outcome for me. But let's consider what would have happened if I would have got the splitter. Would have gone on the left for 6 points. And then he would connect over here for plus 9, plus 12, and plus 1 for the road. So plus 22, which would give me a 1 point edge. And even if it were the other way around, so if he would have been able to connect here with the straight and then a crossroad over here, the game would have been tied and he would still have lost due to the starting player advantage, or in this case disadvantage. So actually taking this 3 points was the right move, because in all other permutations I'd either get this dagger to score my 11 points on the left side and also get meeples back to score 6 points on my last turn, or would be able to block one of his attacking options, just eking out the win by holding on to my lead. So even though Nazario had this huge ruin here, which was the main problem of the game, because if you invest so many tiles in a city, you need to close it. Could have risked a bit more once I had this cow here. The city was so unlikely to be closed. But he still had chances, considering if he would have gotten the road monastery and maybe an attacking option before that, or the road monastery and then attacking through here with the last trade, or if all other things turn south on the right side. So he still had chances, but the deck was on my side. But all is not lost. This is a best of 3, and we'll see in game 2 if he can equalize the match score, get another chance to continue on his road to the final day of the MSO. So let's start game 2 and skip over a few moves here. The quadruple city, of course, was quite unfortunate for me. That's Carcassonne. Sometimes get the wrong end of the stick. So Nazario with a splitter could, of course, just open a new city on the left side, but he opts for a more aggressive approach, which I really like because he kills this monastery square. From his perspective, this has, of course, the downside of giving me a city cap, which I could take if I only were to get one of the 5 vanillas or a Dorito or the last splitter. But with more than 60 tiles still to go, definitely a nice upside for him. I get to protect on the right side both city and monastery, also giving me chances to complete a 3-point road. He just closes his city, hoping to get a curve to kill my monastery. He could have gone on the left side and open up another city, because this configuration actually isn't the one he would have liked. Anything with a field on the right side would have been way better, because that would add straits to his arsenal and deduct them from mine, because now I could protect this way. But he seems to be a bit antsy. With the monastery now, I could go over here and indirectly protect this square. But this early, I'd rather meeple the monastery, and doing this below my present one is rather reckless. Any curve or crossroad would kill 2 of my meeples, and in addition it would create another vulnerable square. There's already one dagger gone, so I can't use that spot. That's why I just go on the left, meeple a 4-point monastery, hoping to get other ones to stack, and then trying to survive with this one. Again, blue a bit antsy. He could have gone over here, although this would have given me indirect defense options with the goal of waiting for curve. but his options were slim because either I would have gotten a tile to directly protect my monastery, or I would have taken the indirect route. There's actually only one tile that would have been pretty bad for me. I couldn't have used the quadruple crossroad to protect neither directly nor indirectly. Everything else would have been more or less a good tile for me. So just taking the 4 points is okay, because there's still this vulnerable square and there may be this one in the future as well. I just take the 3 points, of course. And with the cow, he might opt to quasi-Ukraine me, restricting my monastery while also attacking my city on the right. This road end up top is more or less useless with curve, although there is this option then going over here, but it's rather unlikely to be successful. So considering I have 2 monastery squares and the bottom one is a bit vulnerable or susceptible to attack from blue, I might just opt to go here and meeple the field. Even though you normally wouldn't kill a monastery square like that, but in some cases it might still be your best option. Blue might now take this road, then also hoping to connect to the larger one. Else there is the option of creating more problems for my monastery. And I think he picked this one. Another monastery for me, which is likely to get meepled on the left side. So the dagger for him ain't the ideal tile, because if he were to meeple the city cap, I could bend this into my monastery city with a Dorito, or even more preferable large city tile, taking into account that both diagonal splitters are already gone. So in this case, I would opt to go at the top and meeple a city, then hoping to attack the square here and kill it, blocking yellow's monastery, and also limiting the field at least at the top quite a bit. Some sort of trade on the left side would help this regard as well. Else there would be this option, which would create, of course, the city cap to take, and then maybe a nice road later on once we try to block this square. But I picked the top move. Instead goes for the direct approach and rightfully suffers. Trade I've talked about already, so taking the road at the bottom is okay. So if I just could select pieces, I would have drawn a starting tile to kill here. But I got a rose, which is a nice tile under most circumstances. And in this case, I might just opt to score 2 points at the top. Adding it next to my monastery is too risky, because there is already one dagger gone. The 3 daggers remaining, I might choose that way, but not with 2. So taking just 2 points, the way to go. And he gets one of the 2 remaining starting tiles, which is quite nice for him. Maybe now time to limit the field. But as this would add 2 points to my monasteries, expect him just to continue the road and meeple the city cap. So another 2 points plus 2 for my ruin. It's still a city technically, but I don't expect this one to close. He connects and kills my monastery for good. This creates the problem of this huge ruin for me. I have to do something about here, or later on attack at the top, or after he connects at the bottom or on the right side, depending on his choice of weapon. Right now I might just try to create problems for Blue's road at the bottom, maybe indirectly for his city too, although this would rather protect the city, so maybe going over here. Then at least having some options on the right side to either attack or obstruct. Maybe this one here might be useful, considering this is the 5th big city tile. Limitation here, and then from the bottom to either the quadruple city tile, which would be a total kill, or one of the horses, which would be a 50-50, could be considered. I think the last one has more upside than trying to block Blue's road. But this actually is really nice. Yeah, why didn't I consider this? So if Blue can't protect this here, I might be able to bend their road into the city. There is no splitter left, and this would kill 2 meeples. So yeah, that's the move to go. But Nazario gets to defend it. The only question is whether he meeples the monastery or not, and he chose not to, because this square is vulnerable as it is, given there are 2 options to attack it. The straight could be used over here, creating a nice monastery spot, but also options for Blue to attack this and limit it to a curve or maybe a city tile. So the direct approach of adding 2 points to your monasteries might still be the better one, even though there's only 1 starting tile left. He now will connect on the right side, at least giving me this option. I might even opt to attack there now from the bottom, but considering city still needs many tiles to close, I'm more likely to defer this and go over here, trying to kill this square, and then maybe later take this city. I don't meeple it because it's my last meeple. This creates a slight problem because Blue could take this and would very likely do so with more or less any city cap. But at least he won't use Doritos over there because he needs them elsewhere on the left or on the right side. But with the rows, he might just opt to close his road and open a new city. Yeah, instead he goes for the slightly more greedy move. And I think I will attack this immediately, hoping to block this square down the road, of course. And that's why he gets punished. The extender is really a nice tile, but most often only if you have an open city cap available, and cause he chose take the Dorito, doesn't. So he could of course protect city, but this would endanger this square on the right side. Therefore, maybe just extending the ruin on the right side might be the way to go. Else there's attacking the monasteries on the left side. Yeah, I think I like the last solution. So I get to defend immediately. He gets another straight, just protects the city on top side from any attack by me, leaving me with the way inferior option at the bottom. But this also gives me a 3-point road. So there are still city caps with the road on the left side. Might just take this tender. Else there's closing the city here to prevent the attack, leaving me only option from the top. Was not meepling the cap, because it would be killed immediately with any Dorito. So far this is quite a close game, and I could play it safe, just liberate my monastery. But there's a juicy city cap over here, and I have a juicy Dorito in hand. Why not take this? That could be too timid. Now gets to score 4 points. And I'm stuck with an extender. So actually, attacking over here the YOLO way would have worked. But that's not a thing I'd consider in the mid game if it's not really necessary. As this board presents itself to me, I don't see any good use for the extender right now. So the best one seems to be to go at the bottom and then try to limit this square by blue to the last starting tile. Gets a dagger to score 4 points. Also creating a secondary field in the process. Could close my field, but I really don't like to. I'd rather go on the left side, hoping create more squares over here to add further city caps. Killing the city and attacking blue's other one, of course, is the best option. He gets a splitter to take over city at the bottom, which I could have actually taken, but the problem was this square here. The Dorito, this would get limited severely. So there's a cap again I could take, but I don't need to as he has no meeples in hand. I might limit his city to the last starting tile. This is actually a 50-50, so that's the move to go. That move I don't like, because there are still 2 daggers left and I could have limited his city, but it has the upside of opening up the field. And even if blue were to bend the road into the city piece, there are still the 2 daggers. Usually He might just try to protect this city, but given the tile run out, this would help me actually, because any curvy tile would be then a total block. So that's no option for him. With 0 meeples in hand, he might just go here. And now I take a city cap. I don't take a city cap. Okay, I kill blue city. Just trying to hold on to my meeple majority. Yeah, that's one way to win this. And he would have closed it. But this way he can score another city. And now the open city cap could be quite hurtful. This looks to be a pretty useless monastery, but there is a square on the right side. There are still some tiles to liberate this, but I'd rather use this as a platform to attack the ruin on the right side than meepling it directly to score points. So even though there is this city cap for 4 points, he could opt to protect the ruin. It's worth 13 points already, so not unlikely, but considering there's only one big city tile, any attack from here would be totally blocked if he were to get the cow, or restricted to a 50-50 with a Dorito. So he likely will just opt to draw 4 points, because this prevents me from doing so. And now I should attack the ruin. It's the biggest feature on the board. Chances are still present to be successful with this attack. And I'm quite a bit behind right now, because the scoreboard sees me down at 13 points, and then there's the ruin for 13 points as well. So that's not even equalized by my field and monasteries. And gets another city cap. There are still a few to go, so opening a city somewhere more or less safe, for example over here, might be an option. Protecting the ruin isn't really, because there would still be 3 tiles to connect. Extending your road on the left is also more or less iffy, because that gives blocking options to me. Let's just see what he did. He opted to reduce my attacking possibilities, but I don't like this move. Even though this is your last meeple in hand, considering you could use one of these 5 road ends or one of the 5 city caps to liberate a meeple, I would have gone over here and meepled city cap on the right side. I get to take 3 quick points up top. Now that he started this here, he might opt to try and kill it. Given the 4 straightish tiles, bending the curve this way would be the better option, even though this gives a few more protecting tiles to me. The vanillas, for example, leave a field side on the left to then hope for the 2 Doritos. Let's just see what he did. Yeah, the expected move. I get a curve to immediately protect. And so I still have a 75% chance of connecting to the ruin. because I don't expect this to get closed over here. Although it still could. And there's still one attacking option here by getting a Dorito and then the last cow. But that's more or less a Hail Mary. So he gets another city cap and no good use. Might still just start a new city, likely just at the bottom. Not create bigger fields here. Instead, he adds it to the ruin, opening up another avenue of attack. Considering I need field Doritos over here, he is definitely more likely to use the attacking spot at the top and be successful with it. Because I would need to draw the cow or one of the city caps to even attack, whereas he could use the Dorito over here. So this move really has some merits, and the upside for him is there. So it's definitely okay. Maybe even good. I'm a bit undecided. Because only way this works out is if I were to get a field Dorito immediately. Because with everything else, I'd either kill the attacking square or protect. For example, the road Doritos I'd use to protect. The same goes for the dagger, although I might opt to liberate my monastery. But I just got a crossroad, and this begs the question whether we score 5 points on the left side or just kill blue's attacking option. And with 6 tiles to attack out of 16, I should actually defend. But let's see if I really did and didn't. I chose the risky approach, and now he gets to attack, and if he does so, he'll be blocked immediately. I guess not the development he would have expected. Oh, he doesn't even attack. Ow. Why use this over here? Just to dump it? Well, now I get a piece to defend, even though this adds 1 point to their ruin. I consider this my 75% ruin, so I don't mind adding 1 point there, just preventing the worst outcome of me connecting and him as well. So now actually the city might even close because there's still one road Dorito available. As blue, this begs the question if you want to prevent this, and I think I have to say yes, because this field on the left side is yellows and this city would add 3 points. Instead, he opts to block the square at the top completely, even though this already is a 50-50. Well, considering the many road tiles still out there, this is an okay option, but I could defend directly, indirectly, or get the dagger. So I'm not sure this really is worth the move. I liberate my monastery and leave the city empty. There's a reason for that, because there is only one tile, the city and road, and that one tile would not help you because you'd bend it either to the left or right and would need a second city plus road tile. So me playing this city would likely result in a kill, either by your opponent getting one of the Doritos to bend the city this way, or the other way for that matter, or getting a road or crossroad from the left side to then kill this city. So leaving it empty is the way to go. And even in the case blue were to get a cap, you'd profit because it's still your field, and this would only be a 3-point move for blue. He gets a really nice road monastery and could go for the 8-point move here, still with the hope of getting the last trade. Instead, there's this square and meepling the field for 9 points, possibly 12 points if this city gets closed after all. And of course, there's his road on the left side, which begs for a road end. But using the road monastery there, if there are still 2 crossroads left, isn't really that effective. So I'd go for the 9-point field in this case, because now once yellow gets the Dorito, and they are quite likely to, blue will actually be behind. So scoring is of utmost importance. He just opts to liberate the road meeple and forfeits the 9-point field, which gives me, in theory, the option of going over here and taking a 6-point field with a curve. But now that I get the Dorito, I tie the ruin, or city, sorry, still a city. And now the score is 2 points for him on the scoreboard, plus 6 for his ruins, which is equalized by my monastery. So I'm ahead by 6 points due to these 2 cities on my field. He might opt to extend his ruin on the left side. There's still a city which could be killed now. Or no, it couldn't be killed, which could be restricted to the last road Dorito plus city cap to close it, maybe. Considering this is on my field, this might be the best move. And he even attacks my field, which is okay, I guess, because this city won't close and you're only fighting for 6 points, but the field could still be extended to 9 points by closing the huge city. And then attacking this is worth it, also considering you could score 2 points en passant. Still at 6 points plus and another meeple in hand. I expect his field attack on the left side to be successful and should now do something useful with a splitter. Going on the right side, taking this field for only 3 points at the moment, but still having options to get vanillas, grow the field, or maybe even trying to connect it to the bottom, or getting the large city add another 3 points to the field might be just the move here. Gets a city cap, has to take one of these here for plus 1 point. So right now I'm ahead by 8 points. And get a straight to take a 6-point field. Yeah, that's definitely the move. Instead, I opt to try and block his field attack. which has at least a 66% completion rate, because there are 4 out of 6 tiles to immediately connect, and even the one Dorito to protect the connection and then get a crossroad later on. Definitely the worst move. He gets to connect, adds 2 points as well. So it's a tie right now. So now it's for sure absolutely necessary to take the 6-point field. Yeah, so 6 points plus for yellow. And I don't see any way for blue to win this. But still, let's exercise due diligence and try to find a winning move for blues. So there are a few ideas here. For one, there is this 6-point field, which could be taken by blue to score then 6. Let's actually tabulate that. So blue has an 8-point lead on the scoreboard plus 6 points in ruins, whereas yellow has an 8-point monastery and 2 fields worth 6 points each. If blue were to take the field for 6 points, yellow would get either the vanilla or the Dorito on one of their last turns to either close this huge city or the small one. In both cases, due to no meeple in hand for 3 points added to their field, as well as to the field on the left, which we don't care about because it's tied anyway. So if yellow were to get the worst tile for them, which would be the curve, they could put it over here to protect the city. Blue could get the vanilla to add 1 point to their score. But then on their last turn, yellow would get the 3 points for this city here. And if yellow were to get the Dorito directly, they would get 3 points. Then blue would score 1 point for their ruin and 3 points for a field on the left, but yellow would then get 4 points on their last move or a wash. So still 3-point win by yellow. Any other case is a loss for blue as well. So taking the 6-point field just doesn't cut it. So how about taking this road here and trying snatch these 10 points with the last road Dorito. So in this case, we just add 10 points to blue instead of the 6 points they would have gained with the field. So that's plus 4 points. But their problem is that closing this road would give this meeple back to yellow to score this 6-point field or this 4-point city plus 3 points for the field on the right side. So let's just assume they'd get the curve would equal to 6 points plus the 3 points they would have already gained because they would have gotten the vanilla cap beforehand. And if moves were reversed, so the curve first and the cap last, they would just gain 7 points. So both cases would lead to a win by yellow, even if blue were to successfully connect, take over the 10-point road. So therefore, I don't see any winning moves for blue. And in the actual game, it took him only 1 second to just take 2 points. And then let me think for almost 2 minutes whether I should close the city or not. And in the end, I opted to close it because it gives me 3 points. And even if you tabulate this, so 2 points for blue and 3 points for yellow, I'm ahead by 7 points. The worst outcome would be him getting the cap to snatch the 6-point field and me getting a curve to take 3 points on the right side. So even that outcome of 6 points and 3 points for me would lead to a win. Therefore, I opted to close city. Oh, of course, not 3 points for road, but 4 points. Just missed the part on the Dorito itself. Blue now just opted to kill my city cap for a 0-point move. Actually, if I would have got this field in the end, a minus 3-point move. So taking the 6-point field and then letting yellow score 7 would have been the better move. But as we'll see, I even missed out on taking the field. I'm not sure why I did this, but it didn't really matter. And I knew it didn't matter. In the end, I won by 7 points and got a ticket. MSO final day. Was quite happy about. But this game here could have been a loss quite easily if it weren't for Blue's greed over here. Remind you, could have also just closed his city and meepled a safe cap. And then this city, I'm also not sure this move over here was really necessary. At least it didn't work out as Blue would have hoped. So using this city cap somewhere else, as well as this one over here. I mean, if you put it there, why not attack? There were a few moves by Blue I'd consider suboptimal, and that's all it takes to lose a more or less tight game. So this is it for my Qualifier 1 road. I'm still not sure whether I should continue my video series with the final day or if I should just take a look at the few games from Qualifier 2 which weren't covered by Alexi in his video. Stay tuned to find out.